Now at 5 a.m. WKYT this morning, we have new information on a Lexington murder case, including the suspect's identity.
Kentucky Democrats celebrating a big victory this morning as they retain control of the state house.
And the state has issued violations against the Estill County landfill containing radioactive waste. The details just ahead this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning and thanks for stopping in this morning. I'm Rebecca Smith.
And I'm Bill Bryant. And Kentucky Morning start right here on WKYT, so we're glad you're with us. Springtime has arrived early.
That's what it seems like.
You know?
It really is so nice out there this morning, Micah.
Yeah, and it's consecutive days. That's what's been so nice. It's not just 1-2 days here or there, but it's just now we're going on 3 and 4 days. So things are looking good. And look, once you walk out the door, trust me on this, you'll absolutely love the feel outside because it's not cold anywhere you look. Cooler air as you work your way back towards Somerset across 27 and also making your way over toward Highway 80 and make your way over toward Laurel County at 49 degrees. But other than that, I mean, we're in the 50s and 60s outside. So there's a good feel as you step out the door this morning. By the afternoon, I promise you this, nobody needs coats. So, short sleeve shirts, light clothing, I mean, that's the way it's going to be for today and for tomorrow too. As that warm air will continue, that's kind of the focus. Second focus is that rain will be on the increase. I'm going to show you when coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, thank you, and we'll see you then.
Well, this morning we were learning a lot about 2 men arrested by Lexington police in connection to a murder.
And we went down to the courthouse overnight and picked up some court documents surrounding the arrest, and it spells out what happened on January that night when 18-year-old Caleb Hallett was murdered. WKYT's Mark Barber is live at the courthouse in downtown Lexington with more on what he's uncovered. Mark?
Good morning, Bill. With these two latest arrests of an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old, police have now found all 5 suspects connected to that fatal shooting back in January. Now, those 2 men are Marquez Smith and Marique Sturgis. They were both arrested yesterday and charged with murder, robbery, and assault. Police say they killed 18-year-old Caleb Hallett 2 months ago. 21-year-old Kenyon Hips, one of the other suspects in the case, killed himself while he was on the run in Ohio. 2 other suspects are already in jail, but we aren't naming them because they're still juveniles. Now this morning we are getting a much clearer picture of what happened from one of those juveniles who is talking with investigators. According to an arrest warrant, the 2 juveniles drove Smith, Sturgis, and Hips to Hallett's home on University Avenue. There, court documents state that the men waited outside the house, planning to rob Hallett and his roommate. According to the arrest warrant, Smith shot Hallett and Sturgis shot his roommate in the arm after they left the home and got in a car. Now, police say they have been searching for those 2 men ever since that murder happened 2 months ago. Now, Smith, for the first time in this case, will face a judge here at the district courthouse later this afternoon. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Well, Kentucky Democratic Party leaders say that they are ready to get back to work after learning their party will keep control of the state house. And
Democrats won 3 of the 4 House seats up for grabs in special elections yesterday. That includes the 62nd District, which includes parts of Fayette, Scott, and Owen counties. Democrat Chuck Tackett won with 52% of the vote, compared to Republican Philip Pratt's 48%. The Republicans' only win came in the 54th District, and that includes parts of Boyle and Casey counties. Republican Daniel Elliott easily defeated Democrat Bill Noker. Republicans hoped to have a 50-50 House tie after the election, but instead Democrats now hold a 53-47 majority. Party leaders called the victory a rebirth of Kentucky's Democratic Party.
It's a great night for Kentucky Democrats. It's a great night for Kentucky because the wins in these 3 districts are wins for the people of Kentucky.
Speaker of the House Greg Stumbo says that he believes yesterday's results are in part a backlash against Governor Bevin's proposed budget cuts. Just weeks after announcing the discovery of illegally dumped radioactive waste, state officials have issued violations to an Estill County landfill.
The Energy and Environment Cabinet says 4 specific violations were sent to the Blue Ridge landfill yesterday afternoon. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain joins us from the live desk with a closer look at these violations.
The Energy and Environment Cabinet says it sent a notice to Blue Ridge Landfill yesterday for 4 different violations. Now, state investigators say the landfill used inaccurate reporting, disposing unpermitted waste while not properly recording the source. The state says the landfill accepted 26 loads of low-level radioactive waste. The state also sent a cease and desist letter to the waste disposal company Advanced Ternorm of West Liberty. The state says the company imported, collected, transported, and illegally dumped the radioactive material from West Virginia in June of 2015. The company could face civil fines of up to $100,000 for each dumping. Now, the transport of these materials from out of state is against the law. The state also sent a notice of violation to a landfill in the Ashland area. At the live desk, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
A jury's acquitted a Kentucky police chief and one of his officers. Carrollton Police Chief Michael Wilhoit and Officer Ron Dicko have been on trial for charges of complicity to commit kidnapping, custodial interference, and official misconduct. Prosecutors claim the two men violated a judge's order by putting an inmate on a bus to Florida. A judge had ordered the inmate to be taken to Eastern State Hospital for psychiatric treatment, but the jury found Wilhoit and Dicko not guilty of all charges. Both men have been working for the city of Carrollton in a non-law enforcement capacity during the investigation and trial. There's no word when they'll return to their original jobs.
Well, a new interim director for the Fayette County Detention Center has been named. City officials say the jail's current deputy director, Scott Colvin, will take over the position starting next week. Colvin replaces Rodney Ballard, who has been named State Corrections Commissioner. And city officials say they have planned a national search to find a permanent jail director.
Lexington police need help finding a man they say robbed the same gas station 6 times. Just since December, police released surveillance video of the suspect yesterday. They say he keeps robbing the Speedway at the corner of Versailles Road and Alexandria. Police say each of the robberies have taken place between 2 and 4 in the morning. Each time, they say the robber uses the same technique.
He immediately, as soon as he breaches the front door, raises the handgun and points it at the face of one of the clerks. He does that in every single instance, as we can see.
Lexington police say the suspect's a black man in his 20s, about 6 feet tall with a thin build. They say when he's caught, the suspect will face multiple first-degree robbery charges.
The time is 5:07 on WKYT this morning, and a taste of Keeneland will be featured in a new edition of Maker's Mark. Maker's Mark has spent weeks working with Keeneland officials to create the special Keeneland edition of Maker's Mark. Track officials, along with some community members, got to sample it at a tasting ceremony. The Maker's Mark Keeneland edition will go on sale during the upcoming spring season.
These are two great brands that fit very well together, and where you're going to be able to enjoy that is at the upcoming spring meet starting on April the 8th.
Maker's Mark officials say Keeneland actually built its own barrel to develop this new edition of Maker's Mark. So it's not just the bottle, it's what's in it this time that will be different and special. And it just sounds good, the Keeneland Spring Meat.
It does. It's nice to think that spring is almost here. It's knocking at our door.
You got it. 5:08 is the time on WKYT on your Wednesday morning. We're just getting started with the latest news.
Well, a solar eclipse wowed millions of people across Pacific Asia last night. When we return, we'll show you the stunning views captured by NASA.
And we're looking around town. It's a really, really nice start to the day. Once we hit the afternoon, we're even warmer than where we were yesterday. I'll show you how high we go and when that rain arrives. Coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We really haven't had many days in the 70s for this year. I mean, yeah, we've been through March and also February and January, but still, I mean, there haven't been that many. It's been pretty chilly. But here's the look outside, and we're going to do the 70s all over again today. Here's 75 and also Winchester Road. Things are looking just fine there on the roadways. No fog issues out and about unless you're in the low valley areas. Other than that, it is a really nice start to the day. This is like a beach feel outside. If you've been to the beach this time of year, this is the way it feels all the time. We're at 57 degrees there in Lexington, 57 Richmond, a couple of 40s really down toward the south and southeast. But still, that's not that cold. It's on the cool side, 46 there in Somerset. Monticello coming in at 60 degrees. We look toward the afternoon, mixture of sun and clouds. We'll be at 76 degrees. The record high is at 78. Don't believe we'll actually reach it, but nonetheless, it's getting closer, right? We're only going to be 2 degrees off if this forecast verifies. And 76 is extremely nice, and that's even warmer than what we felt yesterday. So mixture of sun and clouds, 76. We'll take it off into the evening, heading out to eat. Patio weather once again, and also walking around the neighborhood. Stepped outside yesterday at about 4 p.m. Did not make it in until about 7:15. Yeah, we stayed outside a long time. It just felt that good. I mean, you just don't get this many days consecutively like this, so you just got to take advantage of it. So then we head toward tomorrow. Look toward tomorrow morning. Showers already starting up back toward the west into the northwest. Frankfort, you'll get in on the action, and you go a little farther toward the northwest than that. Go across 71 as we make our way up toward, say, Carroll County, Trimble, Gallatin. That's where we're going to see the best chance of rain. You guys in Carroll County, Trimble, Gallatin, maybe Henry County, Owen County, you guys will have 100% chance of rain tomorrow. But if you go down toward the southeast, you're talking about a 20% chance. So it really depends on where you are. Lexington, we're coming in at about 40%. This is during the daylight hours. Once we hit the evening hours, that's when really most of this rain moves on in. So just keep in mind, daylight hours mainly dry for the most part, unless you're west of 75. Then off into the evening and night, that's when that rain really comes over us. But the good news is it comes overnight and not so much on Friday. Friday looks mainly dry. Let's check out your 7-day forecast and what you can expect. And for the most part, it doesn't look to change anytime soon with the 60s and 70s. We're going to stay that way all through your 7-day forecast, again mentioning that. It looks like Saturday and Sunday, pretty decent chances of rain, especially on Sunday, so if you have any plans on that day. Just keep in mind that we're going to be rolling with a few showers, a few rumbles of thunder, and none of this looks like any severe weather threat. That's some good news as we travel off towards your weekend.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, we'll take the good weather.
Absolutely. You said you were 3 hours in it yesterday.
3 hours, man. That felt
That's
great.
pretty good.
That's
All
great.
right. 5:14 is the time this morning.
A total solar eclipse wowed about 40 million people across Asia.
Something to see. Here is a look at the eclipse from NASA. The rare astronomical event occurs when the moon moves directly between the Earth and the sun, blocking all of its light. NASA says the eclipse could best be seen in parts of Indonesia, but it was partially visible in northern Australia, Singapore, even in Hawaii. And the next total solar eclipse is expected in August of 2017. NASA says it will be visible across a narrow corridor of the United States. Well, that is
Cool.
just always amazing.
Yeah.
All right, time this morning is 5:15 on WKYT.
We got to look at your money. Stay with us.
Why Volkswagen says the U.S. will determine its job cuts and don't know what to do with their excess things. We'll tell you about a museum dedicated to the brokenhearted. I'm Hannah Daniels in New York. I'll have those stories and much more coming up in your CBS Money Watch report.
Hey, good morning. It's good to have you with us here on WKYT. The time is 5:18, and here we are on your Wednesday, a spring-like day out there expected. Volkswagen is warning of job cuts. Whole Foods will install rooftop solar panels.
And the Museum of Broken Relationships. Hannah Daniels has the latest on your money.
On Tuesday, stocks were down. The Dow lost 109 points. The Nasdaq lost 59. Volkswagen's labor leader is warning that possible job cuts in the U.S. and beyond could be tied to the level of U.S. fines for the company's emissions rigging scandal. The Justice Department has sued Volkswagen, exposing the company to more than $20 billion in penalties for clean air violations. German prosecutors also announced they're investigating 17 people in a probe of suspected fraud connected to the scandal. That's up from 6. Whole Foods has announced it will install rooftop solar panels at up to 100 locations. The organic grocery chain is partnering with Energy and billionaire Elon Musk's Solar City. Installations will begin in the spring in New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey. Did you go through a bad breakup? Have mementos you don't have the heart to give away? How about donating to the Museum of Broken Relationships? The museum dedicated to the brokenhearted will open its doors in Los Angeles in May. The failed relationship displays feature everything from bras to mixtapes. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. In New York, I'm Hannah Daniels.
It's sort of a sad museum to go to, I guess. Well, hundreds lined up outside a newly built McDonald's in Central Asia. The crowd came to watch the first McDonald's restaurant in Kazakhstan open its doors. Kazakhstan's first McDonald's restaurant seats more than 200 people and is about 9,000 square feet. It includes a drive-through and self-order kiosks. The cost to build it, $3.5 million. The franchise owner says he plans to build several more McDonald's throughout the country. Worldwide operation there.
McDonald's has been going international for a while.
A long time, you're right.
There you go.
Good to have you along on WKYT this morning. A lot more news coming up for you on Wednesday. It's your hump day.
Yeah,
We're back in a moment.
It's a good day, right? It's nice out there. We got sports as well on the way.
Tyler Eulis, your SEC Player of the Year, but not just that, the Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, he just does it all for UK. We also have regional championship action from the 10th region and the 12th region. Tickets are being punched to the Sweet 16. Sports is next.
50s outside this morning, a couple of 40s down toward the far southern zones, but for the most part, this is a really nice feel to the morning as you're walking out the door. We hit the afternoon and it's even better. 76 degrees. You got to remember yesterday we finished below that, and yesterday was extremely nice. So today is going to be even warmer. I mean, we're talking 76. The record is 78. Could we reach that? It's a possibility. I'm not ruling it out, but for the most part, I think we stay in the mid-70s. Let's look at your forecast. Let's check out sports, see what's going on.
Tyler Eulis is having some kind of a season. Yesterday named the SEC Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. He does it all for UK. Along with teammate Jamal Murray, Eulis is part of the All-SEC first team. Both players were named All-District and USA Today All-Americans. Tyler said he never thought about being Player of the Year, but the Big Blue Nation certainly believed in it.
Well, with our crazy fans, they remind me every day that you can win the SEC Player of the Year on social media and stuff. So, it's just, like I said, just got to focus on winning. And when you win games, the accolades come and, the awards come, and you just keep playing it to win, and it'll all work out.
Regional championship night in the 10th region, and it was David versus Goliath. Mason County, Augusta, and Augusta certainly the David in this one. Pint-sized Panthers start hot. Connor Maddox for 3. Augusta's lead by 6. That's their largest lead of the game. Back comes Mason County. Pig Williams, the shooter's touch on the long jumper. Royals by 5 at the break. Second half, the lead would grow for Mason County. Darren Williams open in the corner for 3. The lead would hit 7, but Augusta refuses to go quietly. This 3 by Chris Staggs give the Panthers the lead with 5 minutes to go. The place is going nuts, but the Royals would have the final say. Great passing, waiting for Connor Sweeney to cut down the lane, and Mason County will cut down the nets. Back to Rupp Arena, 48-41. 12th region championship, Mercer County and Casey County. Mercer County won 103-66 back in December when these two met. Last night was a lot closer. Colin Miller for 3, game tied at 21. Dylan James would heat up late in the first half. 3 3-pointers in the final 3 minutes. Titans lead 35-23 at halftime. Third quarter, the Rebels' Jacob Smith lines up the 3. It's 36-32 Mercer, but in the fourth, the Titans would pull away. Trevon Faulkner for the trifecta. The lead back to double digits. One more from the James gang, and that puts it away. Mercer County back to Rupp Arena, 76-60. The girls' state tournament starts today. The boys next week. Welcome to March Madness, folks. That's sports. Have a great day.